College life isn't just about classes and quizzes. It's about friendships, leadership, drama, and everything in between. I'm Devansh, your host of the Student Voice podcast. Join me as I bring together students, professors, faculty to share crazy personal stories, life journeys, life lessons, epic wins served with a side of humor. Let's make this your bi-weekly dose of college catch-up. Last time, we tackled a topic that we all pretend to be on top of, which is wellness. I sat down with Angelica from Calx and talked about all the mental health and wellness resources available here at the college. I also chatted with Josh and Diego from the Athletics and Wellness Center, and we talked about the importance of staying fit and managing stress. In case you've missed the episode, be sure to check it out, because trust me, your future self will thank you. The question of the week was, what's your go-to tip for managing stress when things are piling up? Are you more of a take a nap and forget about it kind of person, or do you have a secret superpower that we all need to know about? And here's what y'all had to say about it.
My go-to for relieving stress is getting enough sleep, going for a massage, going for a walk, or getting a facial.
My go-to tip is sleeping and cleaning my surroundings so that when I'm not feeling overwhelmed, I can think clearly because my surroundings is clean.
Yeah, listening to the music when I suffer from this situation.
I do meditation as well as yoga to calm my stress level, anxiety, as well as depression.
My go-to tip on managing my stress is to sleep or play video games.
To go for a nature walk, or either I watch a Netflix movie or a web series that I'm continuing, or either I just go by a lake or a water body and I just dip my feet in it and just sit there for a while. That grounded me as well.
Whenever I am in the stress, I like to listen my favorite music and I go for cooking, as well as I like to sleep. When there is nothing I'm unable to do that, so I go for a quick sleep and then I feel better. Thank you.
Today's episode is all about career development and setting yourself up for success. Whether you're gearing up for graduation in April or simply thinking about internships or jobs, I'm going to be talking with the Career Service Department. I'll chat with a former student, who successfully transitioned from being a student to a faculty here at the college. Oh, and stick around for a mini What's in My Bag segment where I'll be unpacking all the essentials that I feel like you need to carry, whether you're going to class or simply acing a job interview. And don't forget about the Grad Career Fair happening on Thursday, April 24th, here on Progress Campus, which is a full-time hiring grad fair for upcoming and new grads from the business, IT, engineering technology, hospitality, tourism, and culinary arts programs. This is the perfect opportunity to set yourself up for success and pave your journey as you move from being a student into the real world. So, mark your calendars. First up, let's talk career services. It's your secret weapon to landing that dream job or internship that you've been looking for so long, especially those graduating this April. You need to take full advantage of what they have to offer. Today, joining me is someone from the Career Service Department here at the college. Please welcome Tamara. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do this with us and share your advice. Let's start with the basics. What are the services that your department offers to students here at Centennial?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the main services that students come to see us, students, grads, alum, is our one-on-one advising. And in those meetings, we discuss anything from our resume to cover letter to maybe practice an interview, give guidance on their LinkedIn profile. Maybe they have some questions. They have a job, but they're struggling with dynamics at the workplace, and we help them with on-the-job success tips. We also have drop-ins that we offer on Tuesdays and Fridays to students who just need a quick piece of advice regarding their job search. For those types of services, we don't require you to book ahead of time. We also have a career counselor on site who provides services around career guidance for those students who are maybe not sure if they're in the right program or what is the right career path for them. So she will meet with students and discuss options and provide some resources as well to help them navigate that period of time. In addition, we do have a slew of self-serve services. So our portal Experience Centennial is a library of resources and online tools that students can use free of charge. For one thing, it is the tool that you will use to book an appointment with us or with the career counselor. It also has an events calendar where we post and promote events with industry. So anything from a job fair to a specific program-related event where we get you in front of employers, to webinars, in-house webinars that we host about job search, interviews, all of those topics related to job search, to online tools. We have an online tool, for example, called Big Interview. You can do virtual interview practice. 10,000 Coffees, which is our Centennial's own networking hub. So it's exclusive to the Centennial College community, and there you can connect to alumni and employers in your field. And the list goes on, and tons of self-serve resources that you can access at any time. Maybe you weren't able to book an appointment with us, but you need a tip sheet on how to write a thank you letter. There are resources for that on the portal that you can utilize at any time. So that's just to name a few, but we have that portal, which is our library of wealth when it comes to job search resources.
Wow, that's a lot of great information. And I'll make sure that we link all the information so that people can easily access it through this podcast. And an interesting thing that stood out to me, that your services are also available to alums. Mm-hmm. So anybody who's graduated, they're not studying here anymore, they can still come back and access those.
Yes, good point. So you have access to us from semester 1, and there's no cap in terms of the support. So even if you've graduated 3 years ago, you can come back if you need that extra support with your job search. You can book an appointment as long as you have your login credentials. But even if you don't, I'm sure, you can contact us and we can help you troubleshoot. But yeah, the service is available to alumni and grads.
That's amazing. I have personally used your resource, and I think it's great for students, especially in the upcoming graduation season. Mm-hmm. And a lot of students have this question where they're attending these grad fairs, networking events, and they feel like there's so much competition. How can students stand out in those areas, in those spaces?
Yeah, definitely. That can be a very stressful time. One of the biggest pieces of advice I will give is be prepared, right? So if you know who is coming to this job fair, research them. Prepare interesting questions to ask the employer, to show interest, to show that you have taken the time to look into the company. Come prepared, come dressed up, business casual, bring your resume with you. That is something we can help you with in advance, give you feedback on your resume so you know what you need to do in order to make yourself more marketable, right? You've worked so hard to get this diploma, right? So make yourself shine, be prepared, do your research, come and see us. We can also provide support and navigate that process for you. Show up, smile, shake hands, ask interesting questions. That's what's going to help you stand out.
Interesting. And I know your department is there to help all of us, but sometimes the job search process can be very overwhelming, especially when you're in the beginning stages of it. What advice would you offer to students who are feeling the same way, feeling overwhelmed or anxious?
Yeah, for sure. And while you're in the program, it's stressful enough as it is, right? What I would probably suggest is, of course, if you're early on in your program, I would recommend, come and see us right away, and we can tackle one task at a time together and help you get all those check boxes marked off when it comes to your job search. If you're coming to us later on, same thing. Sometimes students, it's not even the practical piece. It's just coming to us to reassure them, to give some of those confirmations when it comes to their job search, to reassure them, to take away some of that anxiety. But on the practical side, again, we can help you one step at a time. If it is your resume, have it looked over, move on to your job search. We will guide you through the process. We have a ton of resources, even on our portal, Experience Centennial, from job postings to events where we connect you to employers. Those are all the things that we can provide you in an orientation when you're meeting with us.
Sounds like taking the first step is the key to getting started.
Come and see us.
Yes. Well, if you're listening or watching, make sure to book an appointment with the Career Services Department, and they'll for sure help you out with any concerns that you have regarding your career, job search, internships, co-op, and everything in between. Well, thank you so much, Tamara. It was lovely chatting with you, and I can't wait for me to connect with your department soon because I'm graduating too. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, let's switch gears for a quick minute for a What's in My Bag segment, where I'll be showing you all the essentials that I carry that can truly make a difference in your everyday life. So let's dive right in, and here's what's in my bag. The first thing that I love to carry and that I cannot live without is water. You gotta stay hydrated. If you know, you know. The next thing here is my little makeup bag because I love to touch up. My friends and colleagues will see me every 10 minutes where I'll be just touching up and we'll all laugh about it. Then I have my laptop, which is an essential for classes or anything like that. A little journal and pen to take notes because I tend to forget. And you know what? It's always helpful to just write things down. Then the next thing I have is my student ID. Really important. I can just use it wherever, whenever, get food, get coffee. So student ID. Then I have some random receipts, which I'm going to pretend that they're not there, just because why not? Then I have some lotion because it's that time of the year, my hands get dry, and we all need lotion. A little stress ball for whenever I'm stressed in class and I need to play with something. Hand sanitizer. So important. You need to carry it everywhere with you. Sickness is going around and y'all need to be protected. Then I have a little perfume. You always have to smell good. Make sure you don't overpower and make people nauseous around you, but you gotta smell clean and fresh all the time. Then some lippies for hydrating your lips. That's it, folks. That's everything I have in my bag except for the receipts that we're ignoring. Thank you so much for watching this segment. Joining us today is CCSAI's first Indigenous Student Representative. They're here to share their journey, talk about the importance of Indigenous representation in student leadership, and the impacts they hope to make in our community. Please welcome Mukwa from CCSAI's Board of Directors.
Wow. Hello there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'll put this somewhere.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to get to know you. Let's take it all the way back. How was it like growing up for you, and what made you decide to step into this role of student leadership as an Indigenous person?
Growing up, I feel like that would be a story for a really, really long time. But like when I was growing up, I didn't like school. I hated it. Like the entire way through, I hated school. And then I can skip over probably most of elementary because I don't even remember elementary. I feel like it was maybe a coping mechanism because I didn't like it so much. That's why I don't remember it. So once I got to high school, I just like slowly got like more depressed. And by the time I was done high school, I didn't even graduate. And then I didn't graduate until I was about 26. I realized I'm wasting my time not doing anything really. And it was only after like my mom told me, my chiropractor told me, like a bunch of people that care about me were like, you have like potential, but you're wasting it. So then I was like, well, what is something that I can do that can get me into school? I always practice music. So that's what
What kind of music?
I rap.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I went into first was music industry. Once I got into music industry, I was like, I don't know. I don't really like it. Like there's too much at once happening at the same time. So it stunts your creativity. And then I switched into social service. But I got into the leadership role because that was my intention when I did get into college in general, is like I want to do something with leadership. So I was always open to it. If something popped up, then I would definitely do it. And I met Logan, who is also another member of the board. He met me through our ensemble, which is a group of rappers that we go and do, whatever. And because of that, he was like, I'll get you through to AJ. So then met AJ, and then things went on to whatever. And then there we go. I was in CCSAI, and now I'm here trying to figure out what I should be doing as the Indigenous leader.
No, that's very understandable. And I think we all know that the elections are coming up, and many Indigenous people have historic or present day reasons to refrain from casting their votes. What's your take on the concerns that Indigenous people have surrounding that? And what do you think is the importance of civic engagement?
I guess it's best to say what concerns would be, and then how I would approach them, because I also have the exact same concerns as a lot of people, right? I speak with my mother a lot about political things, government things, what's happening and whatnot around the world. But the main thing, the greatest reason why Indigenous people refuse to vote is that we just don't trust the government. You can't blame us, really, right? We've been oppressed for so long. We got our entire country just ripped out from under us. It's they've never earned our trust. So how can we even go out and try to vote and tell people no, you can vote, right? You can make a difference, because to us, it didn't matter if we were conservative. It didn't matter if we were liberal, NDP, you name it. They never, ever had the intention to help us, right? Because at the end of the day, I always say it's a very capitalist situation where they all want money and we get in the way of money. Indigenous people, just inherently, right? They want resources. We are in the way of resources. They want to build more things, and we are in the way of where they want to build things. And to really solve those problems, it's a giant task. They've made things to try to make it possible with the calls to action, for example, where it's we need infrastructure in order to be a part of your society, but you refuse to allow us to be a part of your society. So there's overlapping, intersectioning things. But I feel the best way to do it now is that we are in a position to actually make a difference. There's plenty of young people and current people who are in these systems, and they are making differences. And we need to be able to step in. Because one of my friends, very close to me, always says, you need to be able to make change from inside. You can only do so much if you're standing on the outside, right? You can make all the noise you want, but as long as they can close the door, it doesn't matter.
100%.
So I say, yeah, definitely. The community also comes into another thing, right? The people have power, but it's up to us to actually do something with that power.
And what's a piece of advice that you would want to share with any Indigenous student who's probably hesitant about voting? So anyone listening or watching, what would you say to them, and how would you empower them to cast their vote and make a difference?
I say, just reiterate what I said, right? Power to you, okay? If you have the bravery to actually go out and do something different, you have the bravery to actually go out and change the world. And you have the power to make some noise. And that's one thing that, oppressed people can't do. They can't make noise. So if you are able to, and you are comfortable doing that, go out and make some noise. Get your relatives, get your families, get your friends, everybody, and move as a unit, and you will have the strength. You can protect each other if it does come to that. But at the end of the day, it's up to the people, right? We have the communities. We're very tight-knit. We love each other. So you can move together and make some change.
Wonderful. And speaking of on-campus activities, is there anything that the Indigenous students can look forward to help build a community by themselves, or what are things that you are planning to do in the future?
Oh yeah, there's definitely stuff that's already here, right? For example, we have what was it called? There's the cafe, the Indigenous cafe. Yeah, exactly. So we got that already set up. We've got the whole 8th Fire group within the A building, right? I work closely with them. I've actually put it into our strategic plans, action plans, where they will have a significant impact of the Indigenous position specifically, because we feel, and I feel, like people matter. And if I'm here, representing Indigenous people, I would want the support of Indigenous people. Otherwise, I would just be up there making noise for no reason. Like, my position would be irrelevant.
No, and that's exactly why we have this platform and why we have this media outlet to amplify those voices. And I'm so grateful that we got the chance to sit down, talk about the things that you're planning to do and the things that you currently do. So thank you so much, and we're really, really grateful to have you on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Miigwech.
Now, let's hear from someone who's put these career tips to good use. I'm so excited to welcome my next guest. They completely and amazingly transitioned from being a student here at the business school to a full-time Centennial employee. Please give a big student voice welcome to Nivar from CFDTI. Hello.
Hello. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me on
Thank
your
you so much for
podcast.
agreeing to do this with
my
us.
God.
And we were talking about careers, and I think you're the first person that came to mind, and you agreed to do it. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me, and the setup and everything is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so let's dive right in. I want to know what your role is at the college, and you can give a little introduction about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Nivar, and I am the Program and Events Coordinator at CFDTI, which is the Center for Faculty Development and Teaching Innovation here at Centennial College. So my role is mainly focused on faculty and helping coordinate programs and events at the college, so such as the Truth and Reconciliation event, the 2S LGBTQIA+ Education Symposium we had in the fall of this year, the Teaching and Learning Symposium, which is coming up soon. So things like that, very faculty-oriented, less so of a student focus.
And how did you find this opportunity, and what made you decide to apply?
So one thing, because of course people tell you all the time, this key piece of advice for finding a job is networking. So networking is very important, and having connections is very important as well. So someone from one of my networks reached out to me and said that there's an opportunity at the college. I think you'd be a great fit, and to apply. So I actually originally applied for the office assistant role that they were hiring for at the Academic Innovation and Excellence Unit, which is the umbrella of where CFDTI is under. I did the interview and everything, and I got a call back saying that I got the job. And I was like really happy about it and everything. And then at the next day, I got a call from the lady that interviewed me. And she said, oh, actually, Nivar, one of my colleagues for CFDTI is hiring for a program and events coordinator. I think that would be a better role for you if you want to interview for that. And I was like, okay, sure. So I did a phone interview that day with my current manager, and it was a 10-minute phone interview. And then she said she wants to do a full interview again. So we did that the next week. We did a full interview, 3 people on the interview panel. It was a little nerve-wracking. Obviously, interviews, as you know, you get nervous. But at the same time, I feel like they made me feel so comfortable. You know, it was just like talking to people you practically feel like you already know, even though you don't know them, which is really interesting. But yeah, and then I was waiting because my interview was over a really long weekend. So I was waiting to hear back. I wasn't hearing anything. And I was like, okay, it's been a week. I should probably email to follow up. And this is a key, guys. If you want a job really badly, email to follow up like within a week, because that is so important to do. So I emailed, and I didn't just write a follow-up. I wrote a whole email, and I wrote why they won't be disappointed if they hire me, why I will do the job, and even if there are skills that I lack, like I will figure out a way to do it, and I will upgrade those skills. And the next day, I get a call, and they said that I got the job. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Long story short, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So
Yeah.
the connections,
Exactly.
right?
Who you know, and like just putting yourself out there, and like your skills and your abilities, even because obviously we all go through imposter syndrome. So, but we'll get into that later. Yeah.
That's so interesting that your connections really helped you get this opportunity. I want to know, were there any challenges that you faced initially? Again, imposter syndrome, but are there any other challenges that you currently face, and what are you doing to overcome them?
I think one of the main challenges, and I think this could relate, especially since this is student focused, because I was a student here at Centennial. I studied international development at the business school. And losing that student identity and going into an employee identity at the college is a really difficult balance. There are people that will give you advice and tell you to remove yourself from your student identity and just shy away from it, because then people won't take you seriously if you include your student experiences, which is odd. But then there are people that have told me, Nivar, your student experience makes you so unique because now you have the employee experience and now you know both experiences, which puts you in such a unique position, and to use both of those experiences. So there have been times where I feel like I'm code switching, which is so interesting, like between my student experiences and now being an employee at the back end. So yeah, I think that's been a difficult thing to navigate, because, and also navigating people's different advices for you as well, because everyone has their own set of experiences, right? And they all bring their own set of suggestions, advice, and feedback, and they all come from a wonderful place, right? But you have to take things with a grain of salt, because not everything will apply to you and your position and your skills and abilities and experiences, right? So I think you have to make things work for you. And that's what I'm trying to do right now by reconciling my student identity with my employee identity and trying to make that unique framework work for my position.
What are some of the skills that you've gained so far that you would love to share with our audience?
Oh, so many skills, so many skills. I think, well, one of the lessons I've learned is to be an advocate for myself and be more assertive with presenting my ideas and my things to my managers or my coworkers and colleagues, because sometimes we tend to be a little bit passive, especially when we have imposter syndrome. When you first start a job or start anywhere, you tend to get that imposter syndrome where you're like, oh, do I actually belong here? Like, am I actually meant to be working here? Do I have the right qualifications for it? So we do get into our heads a little bit. At least I did in the beginning. But I think learning how to advocate for myself and being more assertive and being like, yes, I do belong here. I do have sound ideas that I want to put through. I do, like, because I love this college, right? And I want the college to grow. So I think and we're all here. We love the college and we want the college to grow, right? So I think just having that mindset and sharing that mindset with others, it helps alleviate the imposter syndrome.
Thank you so much. And I hope our viewers and listeners can take a leap forward and pursue their own goals, listening to your advice. So thank you so much for doing this. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Devansh. Thank you to CCSAI. Appreciate this a lot. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it for today's episode of the Student Voice podcast. I hope you're walking away with some great tips and tricks that can help you in your career journeys. A huge shout out to all the amazing folks who joined us and shared their wisdom. Now, I want to flip it on to you once again. The question of the week is, what's one career goal you're working towards now? Is it finding a full-time job, an internship, or simply building your resume? I want to hear from you. So don't be shy and drop your answers in the comments, DM us, send a voice note, or whatever, because you can get a chance to be featured on the next episode. This is your host, Devansh, signing off. You've got this. Until next time.